The U.S. Central Command reported Thursday U.S. forces carried out airstrikes late Wednesday on 14 Houthi missile sites in western Yemen. In a statement, U.S. CENTCOM said the missiles were loaded to be fired in an imminent threat to merchant vessels and U.S. Navy ships in the region. The U.S. strikes are the fourth direct action, including those taken alongside British forces, taken against Houthi sites in Yemen in response to attacks and threats in the Red Sea. VOA national security reporter Jeff Selden shared more details of the attack with VOA's International Edition program.
This comes just hours after the Houthis launched another attack against a U.S.-owned and operated carrier that was in the Gulf of Aden. They used a one-way attack drone in that case. Damage was caused, but there weren't any injuries reported. Clearly, the U.S. is taking a very close look at Houthi activity, and for the second time now in the past several days has now conducted preemptive strikes to make sure that Houthi missiles and drones do not hit or target any ships operating in the area.
That was VOA's national security reporter Jeff Selden reporting. The United Nations says Palestinians are dying in hospitals every day as an estimated 60,000 wounded have overwhelmed the remaining doctors in Gaza. Associated Press correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
A health emergency expert says Gaza's remaining hospitals can't deal with the estimated 60,000 injured people, with more arriving each day. Two health professionals who recently left Gaza describe overwhelmed doctors trying to save the lives of thousands of wounded people amid collapsing hospitals that have turned into impromptu refugee camps. The World Health Organization's Sean Casey, who left Gaza recently after 5 weeks of trying to get more staff and supplies to the territory's 16 partially functioning hospitals, has told a news conference that he saw a really horrifying situation in the medical units as the health system collapsed day by day. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
This is VOA News. A panel discussion on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos, the Davos Ukrainian Breakfast, Thursday featured European officials discussing Ukraine's ongoing war with Russia and the nation's future. The panel included Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba, Polish President Andrzej Duda, and British Foreign Minister David Cameron. During the panel discussion, Duda warned the West it must be prepared for the long haul in its support for Ukraine and its war against Russia's aggression.
We have to be prepared for a long march in which we will take care of the security of our citizens, support Ukraine in its struggle across the board, and help it to rebuild.
Ukrainian Foreign Minister Kuleba said the meetings with politicians and investors in Davos have been reassuring, and they believe they would translate into more financial aid for Ukraine's struggle. The U.S. Justice Department has issued a report saying there were cascading failures in a law enforcement response to a school shooting in the Texas town of Uvalde 2 years ago. The report was formally released Thursday at a news conference in Washington, D.C. by U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland and other Justice Department officials. The shooting took place May 24, 2022 at Robb Elementary School when gunman Salvador Ramos killed 19 elementary school students and 2 teachers. At the news conference, Garland highlighted what he called the response to be why he called the response to the shooting to be a failure.
The department's review concluded that a series of major failures in leadership, in tactics, in communications, in training, and in preparedness were made by law enforcement leaders and others responding to the mass shooting at Robb Elementary. As a result, 33 students and 3 of their teachers, many of whom have been shot, were trapped in a room with an active shooter for over an hour as law enforcement officials remained outside.
A U.S. government report shows applications for jobless benefits last week fell to its lowest level since September of 2022. AP correspondent Rita Follet reports.
The number of Americans applying for unemployment last week fell to its lowest level in more than a year, 187,000 for the week ending January 13th. Overall, about 1.8 million Americans are on unemployment. What about all those dire predictions of a recession? Well, as the Fed jacked up rates in 2022, most analysts did think we were going to see a recession. But the economy and the job market remained surprisingly strong, with the unemployment rate staying below 4% for 23 straight months. That's the longest streak since the 1960s. I'm Rita Foley.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.